Hey everybody, it's your homegirl Joy here, and today I want to talk about everything that can go wrong with your succulent. So a while back I bought this beautiful succulent, I'll put a picture right here, called the Bluebird. Made a whole video on it about how to propagate it and just how beautiful it was and how many leaves I was able to pluck off of it. A little while back now, there was a rainstorm and I had the Bluebird in the windowsill and there was a leak in the window. Now, water was dripping right onto the leaves of the succulent all night long. And I didn't know this. There must have been something within the frame of the window, some sort of bacteria or chemical, something got into the Bluebird and this happened. Now, it didn't happen like this immediately. It took some time, but I noticed a black spot growing on one of the leaves and it was mushy, so I quickly plucked it off. Didn't see anything, saw a small little black part on the stem, but I figured it'd be fine. My first mistake. Anyways, so this dark black purple color started spreading on half of the stem and I still watered it like normal. I checked the roots. There wasn't any root rot, though the color looked like root rot. It kept spreading. I would take off the leaves that had that black spot to make sure that it didn't spread. I tried to scrape off the black from the stem. It was already too late, and though I was watering it, it still, whatever that black thing was, completely dried the succulent out. So the stem started to shrivel, and it didn't get soggy watering it like normal, but it shriveled up and it turned a dark purple, and whatever was touched by this color died. And eventually it took the full succulent, that's the stem, all shriveled up. Yeah, even though I was watering it, it got that dry and died. Now, I thought, you know what? This is okay. I have a bunch more propagating right now. Remember the 20-something, I think 25 or 26 leaves that I plucked off? Well, only 2 of them actually grew a new pup. So there is this one. Do you see that? Do you see it? It's so cute. And then there is this one, which it has the pup, but no roots. And this brings me back to the next things that can go wrong. When propagating your succulents, and I've mentioned this before in my previous videos, there are a few things that can happen. It's not 100% guaranteed that a new succulent will grow. The leaf can shrivel up, just dry out. The leaf can just simply not produce anything. Also a huge possibility, even though it's there for a long time, sometimes it just won't produce. Third, the leaf will grow roots, but it won't grow a plant. Fourth is what I showed you, where there is a pup, there's a small little plant, and no roots. Can you see it? Is this working at all? Yeah, there's no roots growing on this one. And I've noticed that all of the Bluebird leaves, they grew a bulge at the end of the leaf first, and then either a root or a little pup would start growing. So since I last made that video, which I don't remember, so I'll insert the date right here. It's taken that long for this to grow. So Bluebird is probably not the way to go. Or maybe I just did something wrong, which is a huge possibility. To tie in quickly with the rotting of the Bluebird, I haven't shown this one in a very long time, actually since I got it, but my split rock. I love this split rock so much. It is gorgeous. I haven't killed it yet, which essentially just means I haven't overwatered it, but the little twin that it had died on me. Now, I didn't water them differently because they were on the same water cycle when I had to purchase them. They were in the same container, and when I had first seen them to when I went back and actually bought them, they were on the same water cycle. That's all you need to know. But from the very beginning, the second one had 2 shriveled leaves at the bottom. They weren't completely dried out, but they they just wouldn't stop being shriveled no matter my watering them, and I never overwatered it because I didn't want to hurt this one. I kept it as is, and it was like a couple months in. It wasn't too long ago where I noticed that there was a hole forming in between the newest leaves. So I was like, okay, I need to take this out and inspect it, which I honestly should have done a while back. So when I took it out, I noticed that there was like a little pocket inside, and that pocket had some bugs, or it looked like a mite, I don't know, but it was rotting. The split rock was rotting from the inside out, essentially. I don't know if that was something that was there beforehand, which would explain the shriveled up leaves and why nothing I did was fixing it. I don't know. Eventually it was too much. I didn't want to jeopardize the second split rock, so I took that one out. Had it quarantined for a little bit, but it was done. So the next thing I briefly went over on the cuttings update video. So here's my Higgins. Do you see how stretched that is? It is very stretched. The Higgins is supposed to be more of this red color that it has on the tips, but it's just not getting the amount of sun that it needs, just barely. So it gets a little bit of color, but it's still mostly green. And not only that, but it's causing a lot of stretching, so then it's also causing a lot of roots to grow at the bottom of the stems because it's stretching so much it feels like it needs to grab more water. And like I've shown in the previous video about the cutting update, Mama stretching again. She stopped stretching here since I moved her to the windowsill. She's a very picky girl. She doesn't like the grow lights, but that's because I spoiled her from the very beginning, and I had her on a windowsill that got sun all day long. And here is the house leek. It's the web succulent. It has stretched a lot. It was really interesting how this stretched though, just because it still grows a lot of leaves as it stretches up. It just becomes like a long snake-like thing. I actually am planning on selling the propagated Higgins on my Etsy shop. If you want to take a look, I know I haven't really talked about it, but my Etsy shop is called Joy at Home Designs. All one word. So if you want to purchase a plant, or if you live in a sunnier area and you want to just get some of the plants that I have, I'm selling them there. I don't have enough space for all of them, and I've grown so much, and they definitely deserve a loving home. Not that I don't love them, because I do. There's just so much that I need to get done, and I can't keep up with all of them, unfortunately. So I'd love for them to have another home that loves them just as much and is able to get them all the sun that they need. So I'll leave a link to my shop down below. I hope you like it. There are a lot of things that are coming. There's gonna be new things that I talk about on the channel aside from just plants. I do want to talk more about the things that I actually create and make for my Etsy shop, because it is a passion of mine. It's something that I love to do, and I want to try to make another slime. And I'm gonna do it. I don't know when or what slime, but I'm gonna do it. Spooky season is coming, which I'm so excited about. I'm also preparing for that on the shop. Thank you again for all the support. Thank you for communicating, because I like it a lot. Again, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it was informative, and I hope you stick around. So hit like, subscribe. It definitely helps out my videos and helps me to be able to continue to do what I love to do. Stay joyful, everybody. Bye.